So we all know that shortage of workers entering the building trades doesn't just affect builders and remodelers. Its impact is felt all the way up the building supply chain. In this important session, Doug Ford from Curtis Lumber will discuss Curtis Lumber's 6-year journey into its innovative workforce development initiative, which is focused on educating students, counselors, school administrators, and parents about the career opportunities in the building trades. Doug will share how their lessons learned be applied by dealers, distributors, and vendors. While there's no quick fix, you'll leave the session with a clear vision on how you and your company can make a difference. And Doug is the VP of Sales and Purchasing for Curtis Lumber. He's also the incoming chair for the Northeastern Retail Lumber Association. He couldn't be here in person, but he agreed to record his session. So we have that we're going to play right now. So let's, this is a great message, and this is something you can take home and you can make a difference in your community.
Good morning. My name is Doug Ford. I'm coming to you from Ballston Spa, New York, which probably most of you have never heard of Ballston Spa, but it's a little bit north of Albany, right around Saratoga Springs. I want to talk to you today about an initiative that was started about 7 years ago. It was done in conjunction with the Curtis Lumber Company and the Saratoga Builders Association. And it really is focused around workforce development. So a little bit about me. I am currently the vice president of Curtis Lumber. I've been with them for 27 years. Prior to that, I worked for Grossman's Lumber for 19 years. It was never my intention to get into this industry, but back when I was going to college, I ran out of money and took a 3-day temp job. And as I said, it lasted for 19 years. So the industry is a great industry, and unfortunately, there's not enough young people that are even considering the trades and our industry as an option. And hopefully, with the efforts of the coalition that we built here and the rest of the industry, we can change that narrative. Curtis Lumber, for those that may not know, is a independent lumber dealer with 23 locations in upstate New York, and we also have 2 stores in Vermont as well. Curtis is 33 years old, and we currently have 750 employees, and we're continuing to grow. So how this whole story begins, while at Curtis, I was asked to be on the board for the Saratoga Builders Association. And in 2016, at one of the regular board meetings, we continued to have a discussion about the lack of labor and how the builders could build a lot more and do a lot more projects if they could only find the labor. And this conversation happened several board meetings in a row, and it was starting to get old. We'd spend a half hour complaining at the beginning of every meeting, and we'd go on to the rest of the business and we'd revisit it at the next meeting. So with that being said, one particular meeting I got bold and said, look, we either need to take this off the agenda or we need to do something about it. And that immediately got me assigned to a task force. So I came back to work the next day and I reached out to Pam Stott, who works with us here at Curtis. She's an administrative assistant for the executive team. And I said, I need your help. We need to fix this problem. So we started doing our research, and we went out and we actually met with every single high school superintendent in Saratoga County. And in part of those conversations, we had guidance counselors there as well. And we really tried to dig in and find out what's the reason that students aren't considering the trades. And we quickly learned that counselors, more so than the superintendents, really were heavily influenced by the amount of interaction that they were having with colleges and the interaction there. Obviously, to be a counselor, you have to go through college. So they were a bit biased in terms of the trades. In addition to that, as an industry, we have done an absolutely horrible job of connecting with the schools and really getting in there and helping the counselors understand the lucrative opportunities that exist in the trades. We also learned through conversation that there was a tremendous amount of misconceptions. Low pay, hard work, dealing with the elements, dead-ended jobs. And really, these are so far from reality, but that's what, a lot of these counselors and school administrators thought. So that was one of the challenges that we needed to deal with early on. Like I said, we were really quick to blame the counselors, but as we continued to interact with them, they really started to really understand where we were coming from. When we're dealing with the students, we really talk about the different pathways to get into the trades and into our industry. We don't talk about not going to college, because certainly college is an option to get into the trades, as well as two-year schools, as well as the union pathway, as well as getting into the trades directly out of high school. The other thing that we learned is that students immediately think about the physical aspect of the trades. They think about the guy on the roof. They think about the person in the ditch. They're not really thinking about the other jobs, such as estimating and project management and the engineering. So again, it comes down to really trying to educate the students and dispel the misconceptions and talk about all the different jobs in the trades. And I consider what I do for Curtis Lumber as part of the trades. We support the trades. Obviously, if builders are not building, we're not selling materials. So I have a vested interest in this whole process as well. So as we worked through the research, we started to get interested stakeholders. We had builders that were part of this, remodelers. The school counselors started to participate. Other related businesses, manufacturers started to get interested. So we formed a little coalition, and we would meet on a monthly basis and really try to figure out, what's the best way to attack this. And early on, we really focused on juniors and seniors, looking for the quick turnaround. Today, we realized that was pretty short-sighted, but back then, as we were starting this, that's where we went. And we started putting builders and remodelers into the schools, engaging with the students. We also, brought the students into the field to job sites. We would bring them to Curtis Lumber and really show them what this campus looks like. And when we did that, we didn't really take them on the traditional path route. We took them to the mechanic shop out back. We took them to the door shop so they could see the manufacturing side of Curtis. We took them to the logistics office, where we dispatch all the trucks on a daily basis and coordinate the deliveries. And we took them to the kitchen and bath center, where they could see our designers working with customers and the estimating department. So we really kind of showed them more of the behind the scenes and non-traditional jobs that they would typically think about. And the other thing that we did is we also used our younger employees to engage with the students. They typically don't want to deal with the gray-haired guys like me, and it's a quick turnoff. But when they're talking to somebody closer to their age, they start to connect. So as a group formed, we grew. We started to really specialize, and we had some subcommittees that developed almost naturally. And one of them was legislative. We had a lobbyist that joined us from NRLA that I knew through my connection there, and he kind of took the uh, more legislative pathway, helping us to engage with some of the local um, legislators and really help them understand the problem as well. And they really didn't, in the beginning, really didn't understand the impact of students not getting into the trades was having on the local economy and the state economy. Um, we also had another group that focused on marketing and promotion, getting out on Facebook and all the different medias to really tell the story and really help connect with you know the students and more importantly the parents about the opportunities. There was another group that really focused on school engagement, and that was the group, that committee that really made the events happen, whether it be in the classroom or out in the field. They helped with job shadowing and internships and all those different kinds of initiatives. So this little coalition really started to grow, and before we knew it, we had 25 to 30 different organizations that were participating with us to really kind of to continue to drive that message. So everything was kind of going along well, and then COVID hit, and we were totally put out of business because we could not engage with the students one-on-one anymore. They couldn't come out into the field. Really, our whole program that was based on interaction was put on hold. So at that same time, we had a gentleman come to us from the Hudson Valley Community College. He was a professor there, and he had been working on an initiative that he asked us for help on. And basically what he was doing, he was taking students from his class and taking them out into the field and allowing them to videotape anything that they saw of interest, whether it be somebody on the job site doing drywall or roofing, or they would go to manufacturing facilities and those types of things, and they would come back to the classroom and he would take this footage and edit it down to 3 or 4 minute videos. And ultimately what he was trying to do was create a platform where a guidance counselor could sit with a student and click on somebody doing drywall, or somebody putting on a roof, or an estimator. And these were 3 to 4 minute videos, and he felt that this could be a valuable tool for counselors when they were engaging with students that didn't know what they wanted to do. So during COVID, the first part of COVID, we really worked with him to really develop this platform, and it's called the Expertise Platform, and it has been rolled out successfully. We have it in several schools up here in upstate New York, and in the beginning, the intent was for it to be used by the counselors, but we quickly found that it's being used by teachers and others to really kind of connect the trades to what they're doing in the math class or what they're doing in science. So it's really had more uses than what we originally intended for it to have. So that's been extremely successful. But as we worked through the COVID process, we started to reconnect and pick up kind of where we left off on. But we were also growing during that time with interested people, because we didn't stop talking about the problem. Any chance that I got to get in front of an audience, I certainly took advantage of that. And our coalition continued to grow, and up until today, we're currently over 40 organizations that are part of it. I'm also happy to say that this coalition has now become a not-for-profit, a 501c6, and Pam Stott, who I mentioned earlier, that currently works for Curtis, she'll be retiring at the end of the year, and will be moving into the executive director position. So we're going to continue to grow this and work on it. But again, it takes a lot of different people, and it takes a lot of committed people. And I'm happy to say that we have a very powerful not-for-profit. So kind of the mission statement for our not-for-profit is to educate, inspire, and connect people in pursuit of rewarding careers in the trades, driving economic growth while building and sustaining our communities. And that's really been the mission since day one. We've gotten a little better at defining it, but nothing has really changed. That is what we're doing, educating students about the trades and, counselors. And the most important piece of this, and a piece that we haven't totally figured out, is the parent piece. We have been extremely successful with students. When we can get in front of them, they get it, they understand it. When we get in front of counselors, they get it, they understand it. However, at the end of the day, when the students go home, the parents have a different perspective. And we haven't really found out a good way to connect with parents. However, we're going to continue to use the different medias that we have to do that. But the parent piece continues to be one of our biggest and most difficult challenges. Like I said in the beginning, we really focused on juniors and seniors, and we quickly realized that was really short-sighted. So as we work through the past few years, we've built a program now that starts with elementary students. We also have a program for middle school students, as well as the high school students. With the elementary students, we actually go into the classroom and build these toolboxes with them. Sometimes it's a Curtis employee, sometimes it's a builder that goes in, but we really sit with the students and build this toolbox. But at the same time, we talk to them about all the trades, all the different people that go into building a home and doing all the different trade jobs, in their community. And we're hoping by starting at a young age, they can continually hear this story as they go through school. And by the time they get to being a junior or senior, they've actually got an understanding of what the trades have and what they offer. We also rely on the students to go home and talk to the parents, especially the younger students. I think they get excited, and when they come home with this toolbox all decorated and ready to go, I think the parents are a little less apt to tell them that the trades are not a good option. So, we really cranked up post-COVID the school engagement. We have a program now that it's a workshop that we educate counselors. The last one that we did, we had 88 school counselors. We spent 2.5 hours with them. And again, it was interactive. We brought in people from the trades to really, talk to the counselors. And more importantly, they left with some tools to help them when they get back to the classroom. Again, I think the counselors play such a significant role. And we're also learning they really are the best connection that we have to the parents. The parent piece, like I said, is our thorn in the side. So counselors, if we can continue to get them on the right side of this, I think, that's our best way to connect with the parents. We do a lot of events in conjunction with different things in the community. In fact, the Builders Association does an event called the Showcase of Homes. The Showcase of Homes brings in 20,000 people to tour anywhere from 10 to 15 different homes. And we use that as an opportunity to kind of showcase some of the work that the students are doing. It's also another opportunity for us to connect with the parents. The local BOCES builds a tiny house, and they have that on one of the sites of one of the showcase homes. So again, it's another opportunity to connect the community and parents with the trades. So where does that lead us to? this is such a big issue that it's going to take a lot more than my little coalition to really solve this problem. And as I'm talking to other independent lumber dealers, they quickly come up with, so why are you so focused on finding people for the trades when your company is suffering from labor as well? And that's a good question, but I don't look at those two as two different paths. When we have people in front of students, whether it be myself or builders or other Curtis people, we talk about the parallels. Getting into the trades and working for Curtis Lumber, I believe, are one and the same. We're part of the trades and we support the trades. It could be a pathway from Curtis into the trades or vice versa. Somebody coming out of the trades can stay connected by working for, an independent lumber dealer. So I look at it as more of a parallel path. The second thing is a lot of dealers will say to me, well, Curtis is so big, you've got the manpower to do this. And, again, I am fortunate that I work for Curtis, and Curtis has been extremely supportive and has allowed me to really kind of take the ball and run with it. But this is any independent lumber dealer or any dealer can engage with a school in their community. This doesn't have to be a huge thing. If you can just get into the schools and really talk with the counselors, they will create the opportunities for you to get in front of the students. Your customers will be extremely happy to do that. I think sometimes we make the decision for them that they wouldn't want to do that. But my experience has been when you put a builder in a classroom and see the kids get excited, they want to do it over and over again. Anybody can talk to your local legislators. They're very disconnected from this problem. And I think if you can take the time and have a conversation and give it to them from your perspective and the impact that the shortage of labor is having on your business, I think they can understand that. Sitting with guidance counselors, we talked about that. I can't drive that point enough. I think every school needs to have an advocate for the trades, and that's the best one is the counselor. So the more conversations you can have there, the better it's going to be. We've been fortunate here. We have two assemblywomen in our district that one is a Republican and one is a Democrat, and they have both come together to support this initiative. They don't see this as a political football. They see the need for labor in the trades, and they have been nothing but supportive. And that they actually, a lot of times, will come together to support an event that we're doing. So I guess bottom line for me is really connect and with the schools, connect with your legislators, connect with anybody that will listen to you, other businesses, manufacturers. We need to fix this problem. It's not a short-term, there's no short-term solution. This is something that we need to work on day in and day out. And we all have a vested interest in making sure that it gets done. So that's kind of my story. I'm welcome to share anything that we've built and done over the past 6-7 years. There's no secrets here. This is something that's impacting all of us in a dramatic way. And I do think we have the solution, but it's going to take all of us to get there. But in closing, I want to thank Rick and his team for allowing me the opportunity to tell this story. I'd also like to thank Curtis Lumber for being nothing but supportive since day one. Pam Stott, who's been my colleague, that's been next to me since the second day of this initiative. And, let's all get out there and do our piece to make this a better industry. So thank you.